Beginning to settle yourself, mind and body, onto your mat. Letting go of your day. Any lists you might have in your head, any plans. Just giving yourself this 60 minutes to be completely present in your body. And as you're sitting, do a little scan of your physical body. Just recognizing places where energy might be blocked, or just sitting. And checking into the energetic body. How is it feeling? What kind of energy are you feeling inside, radiating? Just looking at the quality of that energy. Is it feeling big, expansive? Maybe it's feeling more quiet and contained. And observing how you're feeling emotionally. If there's any outstanding emotion, where does it sit, or how does it sit in your body? And we're trying to observe all of this without any judgment, just being aware. If you do have a space in the body where this energy or this emotion, this feeling is sitting, observe through the practice. See if you can observe how it behaves. Does it move? Does it stay the same? Does it release? And then start to observe the mind. Is it focused and calm? Or is it distracted, scattered? And observing with no judgment. There's no right or wrong way to come into your practice. Just being aware. And then observe your breath. So without altering the breath, just a natural breath in and out through your nose. Again, looking at the quality of the breath. Does it feel shallow or deep? Smooth or jerky? Fast or slow? So if you can recognize that epicenter of the breath, this central expansion point. As you focus on your breath, release any tension from the hips, from the pelvic floor. Just allowing your breath to deepen naturally. See if you can observe that subtle pause at the bottom of the exhale. It might be a split second, it might be longer. If that pause isn't there, start to lengthen your exhalation until you find it. So keeping the focus on your breath, come to lying on your back. So we're going to keep the knees bent, feet slightly wider than hip distance, and let the knees fall in together. You can rest your hands on your tummy. And feeling your tummy rise and fall as you breathe. Maybe you can feel the expansion of the pelvic floor as you inhale, that softening. And take a moment to feel the parts of your body that are in touch with the earth. The soles of the feet, the back of the hips. That gentle lift as you move into the lower back. Feeling the touch of the shoulders against the floor. Just allowing any tension to melt away. So from here, we're going to gently draw your knees in towards your chest. Just taking hold, right hand to right knee, left hand to left knee. And pull the knees down towards the armpits, so taking them wide. With each inhale, lengthening the spine onto the mat. And as you exhale, gently drawing the knees in a little closer. And then start to circle your knees. So guiding the legs with your hands. You can start small and make them bigger. See how your body feels. Yeah, then change the direction of the circles. Good, and then come back to the center. So lowering your feet down to the mat. Keep your feet hip distance. Take the arms out to the side, shoulder height with the palms facing up. Again, we're going to move with the breath, taking a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, lowering the knees to the right side, you can turn your gaze to the left hand if you want to. Inhaling, coming up to the center. And exhaling over to the left. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling to the right. So time this movement with your breath. See if you can take the length of the exhale to lower and the length of the inhale to lift. As you move, observe, does the movement begin first or does the breath begin first? See if you can allow the breath to lead the movement. Last one on each side. Again, feeling the sensations in your body as you move. And trying not to add narrative to them. See if you can just feel them. And when you've finished, coming back up to the center. So we want the feet staying hip distance. Walk the heels in a little bit closer towards your sitting bones. Bring your arms down by your side with the palms facing down. So we're going to lift into a half bridge pose. So take a moment here to connect through the feet. Push down through the four corners of the feet. And then gently lifting. So just going half your normal height. And we're going to do little pelvic tilts. So we're going to start to rock the pelvis. So on the exhale, we're going to pull the tummy button back towards the spine and lengthen the tailbone towards the knees. And as you inhale, you're going to rock the pelvis in the opposite direction, dropping the tailbone down towards the floor. Exhaling, tummy button back towards the spine. Inhaling, releasing the other way. Again, timing movement with your breath. Keeping that connection down through the feet. If you want to, you can lift your toes away from the mat. Really use the four corners of the feet to push down. Maybe you can lift a little bit higher just for the last few. Good. On this last one, we're going to lengthen the tailbone towards the knees and then slowly lower down, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming all the way down to the mat. Again, just allowing the knees to fall in together, completely relaxing and coming back to a natural breath. Good. Then hug your knees into your chest. Have your hands to the backs of your thighs. We're going to rock up and down. So a few times, rocking the whole length of the spine. Good. And then coming up and turn onto all fours. So if you want to, keep your eyes closed. So really taking your focus inwards. Feel down through the hands, spread them nice and wide. Move into our cat-cow. So on the inhale, extending your spine, lifting your gaze. As you exhale, rounding, tucking chin to chest. Inhaling to extend. Exhaling to round. And again, timing the movement with your breath. And start to feel into a really watery quality through the spine. So from here, we're going to make this movement a bit bigger. So we're going to go from our cow, extending the spine, looking forwards, tucking the toes, and keeping this extension, pushing back into a downward dog. And then we're going to round the spine. From our downward dog, we're going to round the spine as if we were doing cat and rock forwards. Then bending the knees, again coming into cow. So extending the spine and lifting the gaze as we push back to our downward dog. And then rounding the spine to cat as we come forward to plank. So finding this lovely ripple through the spine as we move. Strong through the hands, using the whole hand. Just one more. And then when you finish, lower to your knees. Sit back into a child's pose. So you can do wide-legged or knees together, whichever feels right. Keep the arms extended out in front. And just rest your forehead down to the mat. So focusing the breath into the back of your body. See if you can breathe the length of your spine. Good. And then on your inhale, coming up to all fours. Good. So tucking your toes under. Stretch back into your downward dog. You're going to hold it here for 5 breaths. So connect down through the hands. Feel the knuckles and the pads of the fingers gently pushing down into the earth as you lengthen through the spine. So really curling the sitting bones up towards the ceiling and finding that gentle connection, either that lift through Mula Bandha or a gentle connection of pubic bone to tummy button. And just allowing the heels to drop. Gently pushing the tops of the thighs back. Soften through the neck and through the face. Good. And then rise up high onto your tiptoes. You can walk the feet forwards to the top of the mat, coming into Uttanasana. Good. And then put a little bend in your knees. So gently pulling tummy button back towards the spine. Slowly curl up to standing. And bring your arms down by your side, coming into Tadasana. Good. So as we move through Surya Namaskar A, use whichever variation feels right. So either cat-cow, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, whichever one feels good for you today. And you can introduce your Ujjayi breath or stay with a natural breath in and out through your nose. Good. On your inhale, floating your arms up, take the gaze up. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, lift and lengthen to your flat back. Exhaling, step back to plank. Inhaling, lowering the knees down. Exhaling, chest then chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, lifting to cobra, so draw the shoulders back. Exhaling, push back to your downward dog. Inhale, step forwards, coming into your flat back. Exhale, folding down, Uttanasana. Inhaling, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhaling, hands to Namaskar. And inhale, floating your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, flat back. Exhaling, step back to plank. Inhale, the knees down. Exhale, chest then chin. Inhaling, lift to cobra. Exhaling, push back to downward dog. Inhale, step forwards, come into your flat back. Exhale, fold down, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to namaskar. So you're going to do 3 more rounds self-led. So inhaling to begin. Again, observe as you're moving whether you move first or you breathe first. See if you can allow the breath to lead the movement. Good. And when you finish meeting Tadasana, take a moment with your eyes closed or your gaze to the floor. Good. So from here, we're going to open the eyes and turn to face the long edge of the mat. And take a wide step. So you want to have your ankles roughly underneath your wrists. It's hard to tell without a mirror, but vaguely. Have the toes turned in very slightly. Good. And lift your toes back off the mat. So as you lift the toes, spread them wide. See if you can spread the sole of the whole foot. And then push down through the ball of the little toe, ball of the big toe, the outside and the inside edge of the heels. So really lifting up strong through the inner arches, drawing that energy up through the inside of the legs, straight up into the midline. So keeping the toes spread, gently lowering them back down. Good. And bring your hands onto your hips. Good. As you inhale, taking the shoulders back, lifting the gaze. And on the exhale, hinge from your hips and fold forward. So coming into a flat back, have a little bend in the knees if you need to. And then release your hands down to the floor. So hands underneath the shoulders. Good. Here, still working through the feet. So pushing strongly down through the feet, even if there's a little bend in the knees. Rolling the inner thighs back and pushing the tops of the thighs back. So you find more space through the hips and lengthening through the spine. Keep the back of your neck nice and long, so gently tucking the chin. So we're going to bring the left hand to the center, so just underneath the sternum, and take the right arm out to the side, shoulder height. And this twist's going to come from your rib cage. So on the inhale, twisting towards the right. Keep the legs active, so we're not just swinging the hips around. If it feels okay, you can turn your gaze up towards the right hand. And breathe into the twist. So we're keeping this connection to the midline, the length through the spine. Last deep breath in. So you exhale, reaching the right hand across towards the outside edge of the left shin or ankle or foot, and gently drawing the head towards the left knee. So breathing into those spaces that feel a bit tight or stuck. Using the exhalation to soften and release any tension. Good, and then on the inhale, come back to the center. So hands underneath the shoulders, lengthening through the spine. Good, then placing the right hand in the center. Left arm out to the side, shoulder height. And on your inhale, turning from the rib cage up, taking the hand up towards the ceiling. Notice if you feel a pulling down the inside of the right thigh, bring the hips back to the center. So connect to the midline again. Push down actively through the feet. Turning the gaze up. If it's sore on your neck or there's any pain in the neck, keep your chin in line with your sternum. Good, so full expansive deep breath in. And as you exhale, reaching the left hand over towards the right shin. Gently drawing the head in towards the right knee. Good, and then inhaling, come back to the center. So put a little bend into your knees. Bring your hands to your hips, come into your flat back. And pressing into the feet as you inhale, come up to standing. And then step or jump the feet together or heel toe. Coming back to Tadasana. Arms down by your side and close your eyes. Good, so gently opening your eyes. On your inhale, floating your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, lift to your flat back. Exhaling, step back to plank. Good, so lower down to your knees and come to sitting back onto your heels. So resting the hands to the thighs. Spine nice and tall. And focusing on your breath. Good, so we're going to sit to the left of the feet. And we're going to cross the right leg over the top. So coming into Gomukhasana legs, our cow face legs. We're looking to stack the knees, one on top of the other. If you feel like the sitting bones are uneven, grab a book or a block, something to sit on, so we've got nice even sitting bones. If you feel like you want to go a little bit deeper, you can just shuffle the left foot forward slightly. So just taking a moment to settle here. And with each exhalation, allowing tension to release. Angie, pop your right foot over the left one. Yeah, so you're cow faced. Cross the right leg over. Yeah. So you're in Gomukhasana. Good. So taking a nice deep breath in. You lengthen up through the spine. And on the exhale, fold forwards. So you can walk your hands out in front. If it's enough staying where we were, stay as you were sitting and just allowing the hips to release. Otherwise, just allowing the forehead to round down towards the knees. See if you're holding any tension through your shoulders, to the jaw. Allow it to soften. And then in your inhale, come back up to sitting. So we're going to keep the right leg crossed over and just bring the foot flat to the floor. So your toes are roughly in line with your left knee. Take the right hand behind you on the mat. Inhaling, taking the left arm up, so lengthening up. And as you exhale again, twisting the rib cage around to the right. So you can either hook the elbow or wrap, or if you're working into the bind, you can go into the bind. With each inhalation, lengthening up through your spine, lifting through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, moving a little deeper into the twist. And if it feels okay for your neck, turning the gaze over the right shoulder. So we're going to release on an inhale. So inhale to lengthen and turn back to face forwards. And on the exhale, take a little counter twist to the other side. Good, and then come back to face forwards. So we turn onto the other leg. So we're going to either swap legs or do our little twiddle that I know some of you love. So we come up onto the toes, walk the hands around to the left, do that full turn, full 360, and sit back down again. So coming into Gomukhasana legs, and you take that left foot back if you can. Get the knees stacked. Good, and sitting up nice and tall. And close your eyes if you want to. Take your gaze internally. Really connecting down through the sitting bones. So you keep that connection on the inhale, lengthening up through the spine. And on the exhale, folding forwards. So really feeling into the stretch, not just into the gross sensations, the deep part of the stretch, but feel around it. Feel into the subtler sensations of your body. And visualize that energy moving with your breath. Notice if there's any tension anywhere that you can release. Any unnecessary tension. See if you can let it go. Good. And then on the inhale, slowly coming back up. So bringing the sole of the left foot flat to the floor, then toes in line with the right knee. Take the left hand behind you on the mat. Inhaling, lengthen up through the right arm. And on the exhale, twisting around to the left. So either hooking or wrapping or binding, wherever you're working. Good. And turn your gaze over your left shoulder. So with each inhale, pushing down through the sitting bones, lengthening up through the crown of the head. Create space in your body, and as you exhale, twist into that space. Good. So Rachel, put some weight into the left sitting bone. Good. Inhaling, come back to face forwards. And on the exhale, little counter twist to the right side. Good. And then coming back to face forwards. So we're going to take our legs wide from here, coming into Upavista Konasana. So same as we did standing up, but sitting down. So taking the legs comfortably wide, flex your toes back. Again, spread the toes and push out through the four corners of the feet. So make them active. Push down through the thighs. And as you inhale, reach up with the arms. So lengthening. On the exhale, hinging from your hips, fold forwards and stop as soon as you meet resistance. Good. When you meet that resistance, inhale, lengthen and breathe into it. And exhaling, fold a little bit deeper so you can release your hands down to the mat. Breathe your way into this, so keeping the feet active. Push out through the heels. Flex the toes back, toes pointed up towards the ceiling. Good. Taking a nice deep breath in. Push down through the sitting bones as you lengthen through the spine. And on the exhale, walking the hands over to the right leg. So see if you can take the left hand onto the outside edge of the right shin or ankle or foot. Gently drawing the head down towards the right knee as you push down through the left sitting bone. Good. On the inhale, coming back to the center, so lengthening the spine. And as you exhale, walking the hands over to the left leg, so taking the right hand to the outside of the foot or the shin, and gently drawing the head down towards the left knee. Keep pushing out through the feet. So really rooting through the sitting bones. Good. And then on the inhale, come back to the center. Good. So gently bringing yourself back up to sitting. Good. And bring the legs together, coming into Dandasana. Little bend in the knees if the hamstrings are feeling a bit tight this morning. Hands down by your side. And active through the feet. And lifting through the crown of the head. So feel each of the muscles up the spine supporting your back. Allowing the breath to flow freely. Good. And then gently opening your eyes. We're going to come to lying on our backs again. And bending the knees. So we're going to be coming into a reclined variation of cow face pose, or shoelace as they call it in yin. So cross your right leg over the left leg, and we're going to lift the feet and take hold of the shins or the ankles. So you're going to gently draw the ankles and the feet back in towards you, aiming towards your shoulders or armpits. And lengthening the tailbone down towards the mat. If it's too much for you doing it like this, you can always come into our one-legged variation, just having the right ankle on top of the left knee and holding the back of the left knee. Just find what works for you. Again, as you're holding this, see if you're holding unnecessary tension anywhere. Can you soften through your face and your shoulders? Use your breath to release tension, to soften and melt into it. Good. And then releasing the ankles. So you're going to lower the left foot back to the mat. Bring the right ankle onto the left knee. Take your arms out to the side, shoulder height with the palms up. So taking a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, lower the legs over to the right side and turn your gaze towards your left hand. So you're coming into a gentle twist. If it's too much with that right foot on top of the left knee, you can just lower the right foot to the floor. Good. And then on the inhale, moving with your breath, come back up to the center. So uncross the legs, bring the feet flat to the mat. Let the knees fall in together. Just taking a few breaths here in a neutral position. So we come onto the other side. So crossing the left leg on top of the right, as if you were sitting cross-legged. And then lifting up the legs. Take hold of the ankles or the shins. If you get any pain in the knees, flex the feet back and keep your feet active. Or you can always come into the one-legged variation, whichever feels right. So working with the flow of your breath again. That inhale traveling the length of the spine. And the exhale releasing and softening. and then releasing your legs. So lowering the right foot flat to the floor, bringing the left ankle onto the right knee, arms out to the side, shoulder height. Take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, lowering the knees over to the left side as you come into a gentle twist and turning your gaze towards your right hand. And moving with your breath on the inhale, come back up to the center. So lowering the left foot to the floor, let the knees fall in together. Come back to a natural breath. So you can choose whether you end the class coming into Shavasana, or if you want to come into a seated position for the last 10 minutes, coming into a meditation. So if you're coming into Shavasana, extend the legs down the mat. Just find a little bit of space between the thighs. Moving the upper arms away from the body, turning the palms to face the ceiling. And do a little scan of your body. See if there's any part of your body you can make more comfortable. With each exhalation, feel your body get a little bit heavier as you release down to the earth.